The ANC National Executive Committee is meeting a week before its 55th National Conference. They are finalising preparations amid the Phala Phala saga. The ANC Integrity Committee report will be tabled at the NEC meeting. Let's get the latest now. We cross over to our reporter Natasha Phiri, who has been covering this story for us in NASREC. A very good afternoon to you, Natasha. Of course, we saw the national spokesperson of the ANC there holding a press briefing, but he kind of didn't want to touch on certain issues. I saw that some of you were kind of stopped from asking certain questions there. So it seems that things are a little bit tense. Is that the sense that you are getting from, as we build up really to next week and that conference, that much anticipated conference?
Definitely, Flo. I think you're spot on that point, because remember, before lunch, Flo, Phala Phala, the national spokesperson of the ANC, had actually indicated that several reports of the party would be tabled, including the Integrity Commission report on this Phala Phala issue. But I mean, when we just had a briefing with him and just talking to him now, he wasn't so forthcoming about that very issue. But this is because, Flo, just according to our sources, it's been alleged that there are talks inside that those who are in favor of Ramaphosa actually stalling, this report or the tabling of this report, and want to actually end this NEC meeting, having not talked about it, but actually pushing this, report till the last NEC meeting, which is next week, just a day before conference actually starts. So that's what we're hearing from the inside flow. But there are other issues. You just touched on the issue of ESCOM. Phala Phala saying that the NEC is also tasked with talking about this issue. Earlier on this week, he was hitting hard at ANC deployees that were actually tasked at dealing with this issue, saying that heads should actually roll over this issue. It's time to end the rhetoric. People and South Africans are really affected by this issue. Stage 6 load shedding, Flo, I mean, you could imagine, is really affecting the lives and the livelihoods of South Africans. And he had said that it's time that indeed heads must roll. And we asked him, I mean, why was this not the ANC's posture all along, that indeed their deployees should be held accountable over this matter? He had said no, they actually did hold some of those deployees accountable. And when we asked how, he wasn't forthcoming about that information. So these are just some of the things that are coming out of this NEC meeting. It is expected to take place late, but you would remember that earlier on this week, my colleague Samgele Masego was in conversation with the ANC chairperson in the Eastern Cape, Mr. Oscar Mabuya, and of course he confirmed to SABC News that the chairpersons and the secretaries of the provinces would be engaging and talking to each other after the meeting of the NEC. And of course he had said that this is to do with the unity of the party, and of course also discussions around leadership. Similarly, I don't know if you remember, Flo, but remember during the policy conference that took place earlier on this year, just on the eve of the policy conference, there was that meeting that the various secretaries had with the ANC's acting Secretary General, Treasurer General, Mr. Paul Mashatile. But this time around, it'll be the provincial chairpersons of the ANC in all 9 provinces, as well as the secretaries as well. But also, Flo, remember, on the sidelines of this NEC meeting, there's so many other things that are actually happening. There was that issue of Ubatabile Dlamini having received that letter by the Electoral Committee notifying her that she is disqualified from, getting that position or nomination of NEC. You know that she's received around 800, branch nominations, and of course she got that letter yesterday. We've been reporting all morning from the SABC that her lawyers have now hit back and are refuting that letter, and they indeed intend to challenge and appeal the decision of the Electoral Committee. Earlier on, I spoke to the Electoral Committee's Secretary Livuani Matsila over this matter. I also confirmed that he did indeed receive that letter from Ubatabile Dlamini's lawyers. Furthermore, the issue again that we covered yesterday was that of the objections to the NEC list, and yet once again Phala Phala hitting back, saying that ANC members should desist from actually doing what they actually did. But these members seemingly are not happy with the nomination process. They say that the Electoral Committee has not given them the audience that they need. They're not happy with the response, and hence they've escalated escalated, their matter to the ANC's Treasurer General, Paul Mashatile, in the form of a letter. They've written a letter to him asking that this NEC actually talk and deliberate on this issue. But they've said that if this NEC does not entertain the issues, then they are then taking this matter to the court. So it seems that the ANC is really plagued with a lot of challenges ahead of next week, Thursday, which is about 6 days away, Flo.
Just very quickly, before we wrap up here, just in terms of the issue of Bathabile Dlamini, where does the ANC Women's League stand on this? Are they supporting Bathabile Dlamini when it comes to this disqualification letter that's questioning her eligibility? What have they said to this? Has there been any sort of statement from the Women's League thus far?
Well, Flo, none whatsoever. Of course, we have seen some members of the ANC's the ANC's National Task Team. Yeah. And of course, we will hopefully seek an audience with them and actually hope to talk to them. I have reached out to Bathabile Dlamini herself, just requesting that we speak to her. So, my fingers are crossed for that. Okay. I hope she will give us response as the SABC in regards to this issue. All
right. Thanks very much to you. Our politics reporter, Natasha Phiri, covering, of course, the ANC upcoming NEC for us, and certainly the build-up to that, set to start in a week's time.